Hi Gemini, welcome to February. This is Teresa from Tarot by T. And this month we're having full moon in Leo on the 5th. And then Mercury, your ruling planet, moves into Aquarius on the 12th. The Sun moves into Pisces on the 19th. We have a new moon in Pisces on the 20th. And Venus moves into Aries the very next day on the 21st. But in the meantime, let's see what the cards say for Gemini. What does Gemini need to know about love and relationships for the month of February? What's coming up this February, 2023? What does Gemini need to know about love and relationships in 2023? What does Gemini need to know about love and relationships 2023? The Temperance card, the Three of Wands, the Chariot, the High Priestess, the Nine of Pentacles, the Five of Wands, the Sun, the Two of Cups, the Nine of Cups, and the Five of Cups. And the card at the bottom of the deck is the Five of Swords. So this is interesting. The Temperance is a great card because this is, you're receiving spiritual guidance. This is the card of the Archangel Michael. So if you're feeling intuitive, especially because you have the High Priestess here, if you're feeling an intuition about a relationship, trust those feelings. Take time out to listen to that inner voice. That's your divine guidance. What the Temperance is saying, though, is you might be involved with someone where two people are very different, and the way you relate in the world is very different. So you have to meet each other halfway. You have to learn how to compromise. Temperance is about finding the balance, blending different energies together to create a more successful whole. So you might have to stop and think, well, okay, this is how I would handle this situation. But my partner may think of it differently, or my partner may do things differently. And you have to kind of understand that or take that into consideration. But for the most part, the Temperance means you're in a compatible partnership. You just have to learn how to compromise. The other part, it could be also learning work-life balance. So if you've been really focused on career and neglecting relationship, you need to find more of a balance between those two energies. You have the Three of Wands here. So this is a card of success coming in. So you've put a lot of effort into something. It could be a relationship. It could even be a work project because it's wands. But I feel like if you've invested in something and you've put a lot of effort into something, you're going to start to see the results of that work. And so things are going to start to happen. So if you've been feeling stuck, like, well, I'm doing all this stuff, but I'm not seeing any improvement, that's going to change this month. I feel like you're going to start to see things get better. You have the Chariot here. This is another card, especially for Gemini, of scattering your energy, where you're working on a lot of different projects. And it's a card of success through discipline and focus. So this month you may have to decide, what is it what's really important to me? And maybe everything that I'm involved in, maybe I can drop a couple of those things and rework my schedule so I have more time for the things that really matter, like my relationship or, certain things, aspects of my career. You might have too many projects or too many irons in the fire. So the Chariot is about learning how to discipline your mind, not have monkey mind, like where you got your finger in every pie. And I feel like you're going to get a grip on that this month, but that has been an issue in the past because you're too overcommitted or you've got too many things going on. You have the Five of Swords here, but I think you're moving away from this energy. And actually you have 3 fives in the reading. Fives represent instability. So, and especially the Five of Swords, you might have been in a toxic relationship that you decided to cut your losses and move on. And you might still be struggling with that decision. I feel like a part of you, because I'm seeing the Five of Wands here, I feel like there's the potential for a soulmate union, but you're still thinking about the past. And so you need to release the past. Or you're worried that the past is going to repeat itself in the current situation. And with the High Priestess, this is a card of, keeping like things that are hidden. So I feel like maybe in the past something that was hidden was revealed or came up, and that could have changed your the way you deal with a relationship. But it could be that maybe you need to look deeper within yourself to find if you're having any problems in a relationship. Maybe it's time to look deeper and figure out where is this coming from. It could be something that you're not even seeing, blind spots that we all have. The Nine of Pentacles, this is someone, I feel like your career is going great. The Nine of Pentacles is someone who's in their garden, they're financially successful, they've got their house, they've got, a stable income, but they're feeling lonely. So I feel like if you're not in a relationship and you're successful, you may feel like, I wish I had someone that I could share all this with. If you are in a relationship, you're still wanting to share the wealth. You're still wanting to create union, but maybe you've been like fighting lately, because I'm seeing the Five of Wands here. This is a card of, it could be fighting over petty conflicts, but it's nothing serious. It's not like you have major issues in the relationship. You're just fighting over stuff, and it could also mean internal conflict. Like, I don't know where this relationship is going. Is this person right for me? So some of you might be thinking, questioning a relationship, trying to figure out what's right. Others might be fighting over little things, but not getting at the real issue. So like if there's something really that you need to deal with, but you're just sweeping it under the rug, then you start fighting over meaningless things. Like, oh, you put your bag here, or you left the toilet seat up, or, whatever. And that's not really the issue. The real issue is something deeper. So this month, you really need to go deeper if you're having any issues so that you can talk about it and release it and solve the problem. Because you have great cards for love success this month. You have the Sun, but it's in your negative thinking sector, so you have to start thinking more positive. The Sun means whatever difficulties you're experiencing this month, at the start of the month, you can overcome them. The Sun is like, everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. You're connecting with someone that you really enjoy. You enjoy their energy. They bring a lot of fun into your life, a lot of laughter. When you're with this person, you feel like a child. It's like you have that childlike joy. So you have a good connection. You have this Two of Cups here in your environment. That's a soulmate connection. That's two people who really see eye to eye, really enjoy being together, have a lot of fun. You have the Nine of Cups, which is a wish fulfillment. There's even chemistry, physical attraction, because the Nine is very sensual. But, I feel like the other person really cares. You're being welcomed. You're now existing in a welcomed world. Where in the past, you might have felt like you might have been with someone who was more harsh, maybe a little bit cruel at times, because the Five of Swords energy can be difficult, where you're experiencing someone's hostility. So so it could be coming from a partner, it could be your own reaction, dealing with, anger. But I feel like this is a past relationship that you decided to cut loose because there was too much hostility, too much, too toxic. It was just toxic. And with the Five, it's like, I can't fix this person, I can't change this person, so I need to just cut my losses and move on. But now, this month, I feel like love is on. And you have this Five of Cups. So the Five of Cups, this is a card of sorrow or regret over something that happened in the past. So maybe there was some kind of conflict or interaction, and you're sorry about the way you acted or reacted. But I feel like that energy is fading because you're realizing. But you need to find out, why did I do what I did? Why did this happen? And I feel like with the High Priestess here next to this toxic card, you need to go deep. So it could be a psychological issue, or something that you're maybe not wanting to face. It's not a surface thing. It's not a superficial thing. So it might be good to find out why, go deeper. That's all I can say. And with the Five of Cups also, you may feel like a relationship has been shaky because you're fighting. But the Five does not say it's over. It gives hope. You just have to start focusing on the positive. Like you might be dwelling on the past too much. It could be a past relationship that ended in a bad way, and you're afraid to repeat that in the new relationship. Or you just need to let go. And no one's perfect. We all make mistakes. If something happened in the past that you wish you could undo or redo, you can change. It's like when you know better, you do better, Maya Angelou says. So you can only do what you know at the given moment. As you learn, okay, that wasn't a good thing to do, I won't do it again. So that's what I feel like you're having a second chance, or there's hope with the Five of Cups. There's a hope of someone that, especially if you broke up with someone, that could be the return of someone coming back, and you're getting another chance at love. So I feel like love is on this month. If you can overcome some of the challenges that I just mentioned, I think you're on a good trajectory to get everything you want and end the month in a happier place than when you started. Because this is a card of success. The Sun is a great card. The Nine of Cups is a yes. So if you're saying, will this relationship work? Will I have love this month? The answer is yes. You can overcome any kind of feelings of instability if you just focus on the good things, focus on finding out what went wrong in the past and how can I fix it. So let's see what the angel cards have to say. What do the angels want to tell you this month? And definitely spend more time on the one that you love. Drop some of these extra projects that you don't need, that are not doing you any good. You can't be all things to all people. You can't be everywhere at once. At some point, you have to discriminate. Where am I spending my time? What do I want to be involved with? Who do I want in my life? Especially if you're juggling multiple relationships. If you're just dating, you may have to try and decide, who do I want to be with? Cut out the toxic. Focus on the soulmate. If someone in the past wants to come back, then they were toxic. You know the answer. But you can overcome your problems this month and end with the Sun energy. But you have to believe in it, because it's in your negative. If you're not thinking positively, you're going to attract the negative. So expect a positive outcome, and you'll manifest that. So let's see what the angels have to say. Conflict. Okay. Feelings which you have suppressed for a very long time are yearning to be acknowledged and expressed. You are torn between what you think is the right thing to do and what your heart wants. And this is the primary cause of stress in your life. We, your angels, urge you to follow your heart. Do what you would love, not what you think you should do. So the conflict could be within you. Sometimes the Five of Wands can mean internal conflict. Like, what do I really want? A lot of times we do what's expected of us, but we don't follow our heart, and that's where we screw up. So follow your heart this month. If your heart is telling you, I want to be with this person, follow it. If your heart is telling you, I need to leave this toxic situation, follow it. You can overcome your problems this month and end, like I said, and have a new connection, or a stronger connection, I should say. Not always, it might not be new, it might be the same person, but you're working things out and you're getting a positive result. And sometimes the card could even lead to marriage. Maybe you're afraid of that. Maybe that's why it's in the negative, in your negative thinking sector. Like, you're afraid, like, I don't know, do I make a commitment? Maybe you don't make a commitment. Maybe you just have a good relationship. But only you can decide what you really need. So don't listen to other people. Follow your heart. Take time out to meditate and think about what you really need and what you really want. So then we have this full moon in Leo. And that's happening in your third house. So the moon is in the third house. The sun and Saturn are in your ninth house. This is the communication axis. So with the full moon, something is coming to completion or coming to a head involving the third house could be siblings, relatives, brothers, sisters, aunts, uncles, close friends, your immediate environment, but it's also the house of your thinking and your communication style. What do you need to speak about? What do you need to communicate about? It's your house, the third house. You may decide to, like, okay, I've got to speak up. I've got to speak my mind. And that could help resolve certain things. Certain things may be coming to the surface at this time. The ninth house is about long distance travel, spirituality, your belief systems, higher education. So I think you're learning a lot. You've learned a lot over the past month, and this full moon is going to show you where you need to learn more. The Saturn being there, it's showing you like Saturn is like the reality check. So if you've been thinking a certain way and it's been wrong, Saturn is going to show you, okay, you need to change your beliefs. You need to change your way of thinking. Maybe you need to learn some things. Maybe you need to go back and take some skills. Or maybe you need to teach what you know if you're older. And I feel like travel could be educational for you at this time. It could open your mind and show things. Like the full moon brings things to light. So if something was hidden, something was under the surface, it's coming out at this full moon. And this moon is squaring Uranus in Taurus. And that's in your 12th house. So that's the psychological house. I feel like something is coming to the surface that may have its roots in a psychological issue. Something that you've buried in your psyche. Something like a blind spot that you need to address. And Uranus is going to make you feel out of your comfort. You may have to get out of your comfort zone to tackle this issue. But if you can do that, you can free yourself of that baggage, that psychological baggage. Whatever the cause is, Uranus wants you to be free, wants you to be living your best self. So that something may come to a head around the full moon where you finally see what you need to do. You may finally see where you've been self-sabotaging in terms of your life. And you may, I think it's going to be a positive thing. Because even though it may be sudden and shocking to you, you may see things about yourself that you didn't realize were there. But it's good because it's going to lead to change, positive change. So we have Mercury now in the 8th house, and it's conjunct Pluto. That's another house that has to do with your shadow, your fears about intimacy. It has to do with money also. On the positive thing, you might be signing contracts where you're getting funding, it's coming in. Maybe getting a loan from a bank, or you're getting an inheritance. But on the other side, you're confronting your shadow. You got to go deep. You're going to go deep this month to confront your shadow and maybe talk about things that you never talked about with anyone. Because Gemini, you might be just skimming the surface and saying, "Oh, I don't want to think about it." This month, you're going to go and look at it. You're going to look underneath the iceberg, and see the bottom, Check out your unconscious and what's stopping you from having especially if you're having problems with bonding with someone on an intimate level. I feel like communication is going to be key this month, where you can talk about the things that you wouldn't talk to anyone about. The 8th house is kind of like the darkness, the shadow. We have Venus in the 10th with Neptune, so your career is like doing great. I mean, you might be doing something that you really love, really creative. If it's with Neptune, it could be an artistic project. If not, it could be where you're doing something that's helping others in some way. It could be healthcare. It could be social work. Whatever you're doing, you're doing it with compassion and love. Mars is in your 1st house in Gemini. It's been going back and forth since August. It's going to leave in March. But when Mars does a retrograde period, whatever, like for 6 months in a house, it really brings that house to prominence. And especially in your 1st house, you are changing. Mars is like lighting a fire under your butt to say, what do I want to, where do I really want to change how I'm seen in the world? And it's giving you the courage to take action. It may have had you, while it was retrograde, rethinking yourself, like how do people see me? Or how do I want to be seen? What do I need to take action towards? What have I been avoiding? So Mars is going to get you there. And Venus and Mars are square this month. So it's bringing up, when Venus and Mars are square, you could be attracted to someone. It could be a very physical attraction. So you may have a conflict between, maybe you're afraid that love will limit you in some way, limit your self-expression. You have Jupiter. Now Mars is making a great aspect to Jupiter and Chiron in the 11th house. So the 11th house, Chiron has to do with healing, but the 11th house is hopes, wishes, dreams, connecting with groups, your soul tribe. And with Jupiter there, you have an opportunity. It's bringing you opportunity, and it's bringing you an opportunity to heal. You might be finally meeting people who can really make a change in your life. The friendships that you're making, the groups you're belonging to, may bring healing into your life. Maybe if you've never had any really good friends or close friends, that may change now. And Jupiter, you might decide to get into a project where you're joining with others to help society in some way. Just remember with Jupiter, don't take on more, know what your limits are, because you might want to take on more than you can handle. But having Jupiter in the 11th house is like having a wish come true. It's like an angel, a genie coming to you with a bottle. What do you want? I'm here to give it to you. So dream big. If you have a goal that you want to achieve and you need people around you to help you, Jupiter is going to bring those people. Let's see, what else is happening that I might have missed. Mercury is sextile Neptune. So where is Neptune in your chart? Neptune's in your 10th house, and you've got Mercury in the 8th house. You're coming up with creative ideas on ways to bring in money. If you need financial, especially not so much, the 8th house is not so much the money you make from your job. It's more of the money you get from others or your partner's income. So if you have a job that relies on maybe like funding or bank loans, or, you might be coming up with an idea on how, like investments even, like getting, venture capitalists or something. Let's say you have a business idea and you need someone to support you financially or invest in the business. You can be very creative, and you can get that. Just be careful with Neptune. That you're seeing things realistically, because sometimes if Neptune isn't related to artistic or creative things, it can sometimes paint a rosy picture, like you're looking at the situation through rose-colored glasses. So you want to make sure you're seeing reality in a situation. Don't let anyone pull the wool over your eyes, especially if you're dealing with money. So before you sign the contract, read the fine print, is what I'm saying. So then we have this new moon. And the new moon is in Pisces, in your 10th house. So I feel like this could be a new beginning in terms of your career, your life path, your life direction. And the 10th house isn't always career. Sometimes it can come up when you're making a significant commitment in a relationship, because it changes your life path. And this moon is conjunct Saturn from the 9th house. It's an out-of-sign conjunction. So if you're starting something new, Saturn is bringing you. You have to accept responsibility. You might have to take on greater, more obligations or more responsibilities. But whatever you're starting, it has the potential to be long-lasting. It has to, because Saturn brings stability, longevity. Yes, it brings hurdles to overcome. If you have any hurdles to overcome, they might be in terms of education or teaching, learning, even your belief system. So you might be like getting trained, especially if you're getting a promotion, you might have to go for some type of training, because there might be some skills that you need before you can step into this new dream job. I feel like with Venus and Neptune here, you might be getting a dream job. It's like this is something I've always wanted to do and I love it. And I think your career is just off the charts. It's been that way actually the past several months. So now we have Mars still in your first house, sextile Jupiter and Chiron, getting closer to, well, no, actually it's separating. So it's still making an influence. So now is the time to go after what you really want and to choose your friends wisely, choose your projects wisely, but take action. Mars is no longer retrograde. Before it was retrograde, you may not have had the energy, or things just were stuck. Everything's moving forward now, between now until maybe May or June. So now's the time to strike, to go after what you really want. And you can make a lot of progress. You have Neptune sextile Pluto. Pluto's in the 8th house. That's transform. You could be connecting with someone. Well, this could work two ways. In a relationship, you could connect with someone on such a deep level that it becomes scary because you're going deeper than you've ever gone before, and it's becoming more intimate. You're exploring intimacy. But at the same time, with Pluto in the 8th, it's dragging out the shadow, your fears, the dark side of you, and you're dealing with those issues so that you can overcome them and release them. Pluto can sometimes bring up power struggles, fears of betrayal. All these things could be issues that you're dealing with. If you're dealing with money with Pluto, you're dealing with people in power who have tons of money. So you might be connecting with people, the movers and the shakers of the world, and they're going to fund your idea. They're going to bring you the money. They're going to bring you everything. You have this idea of how you want to help people or how you want to change the world, and you're going to have these powerful people on your side supporting you. So that's a good thing, especially if you're doing something for others and it's not just a personal goal. Because Pluto works best when you're doing something, like the rising tide raises all boats. If you're doing it for selfish reasons, Pluto's not good. It will lead to destruction. But if you're doing it because you really care about making life better for everyone, Pluto will be able to transform your life in a positive way. It means breaking down and rebuilding. And that can mean also breaking down and rebuilding you on how you deal with relationships. What's preventing me from being intimate with someone? Where have I been avoiding that my whole life? Why have I been avoiding that my whole life? What do I need to uncover that can help me to heal from that so that I can really bond with someone on the soul level? Because you have that potential this month. But you might have to do some psychological work to get to that point. So that's my forecast, Gemini. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, click on the like button. Click on the subscribe button. Leave a comment. Let me know if this reading resonated with you or what's going on in your life. If you'd like a private reading where we deal with only your issues, and this is like general, so it may not apply to everyone, click on the link in the description box. It'll take you to my website. We can get you on the schedule. In the meantime, happy Valentine's Day if you're celebrating. Have a wonderful February, and I'll talk to you again next month. Okay, bye now.